lovers of light, open-minded humanitarians all, Longevity Nation all around the world, Longevity worldwide. I am Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health, your friendly neighborhood naturopath, welcoming you to another live edition of Fire Your MD Now. Today, January 3rd, 2014. January 3rd, 2014. Well, I've said it before. I'll say it again. For goodness sake, it's the gift that keeps on giving. The medical doctors around the world have just gotten it wrong again. Pain persists 1 year after breast cancer surgery. A new edition from a new document, a new article written by Medscape, this time by Neil Osterwell, January 2nd, 2014. A year after surgery for breast cancer, more than half of all women surveyed reported having persistent pain, and a large proportion of respondents said the pain was moderate or severe. The finding is reported by Finnish investigators in a research letter published in the January 1st edition of JAMA. Of 860 women surveyed, 34.5% reported having no pain 12 months after surgery. 49.7% said they had mild pain, 12.1% reported moderate pain, and 3.7% said their pain was severe. They go on to say that these strategies, these findings, may be useful in developing strategies for preventing persistent pain following breast cancer treatment. Yeah, how about a different, end quote, how about a different breast cancer treatment? I mean, you know, this is how nuts we are. This is how long we've been in the crazy house. Because we have let the medical community convince us that hacking off a breast is a really excellent, progressive, cutting-edge treatment for breast cancer, which is like saying, well, you know, let's say there was an epidemic of asthma. Well, what are you going to do? Well, cut out a lung. Cut out half a lung. Cut out 1 3/4 lungs. There's a solution. No more asthma. What if there was an epidemic of hand psoriasis sweeping across the nation? Well, one solution, cut off the hands. This is how the MDs think, and this is what they have lulled us into believing. And, you know, once 10,000 women are convinced by the male medical doctor to have their breasts hacked off, it becomes the new normal. Oh, and then you become a cancer survivor. You become brave. Or if you're stupid like Angelina Jolie, you let them convince you to take your breasts off preventively. That's right, you don't need them. What the heck? Well, while we're at it, let's cut your stomach out. Let's do a gastric bypass. Let's take out the appendix. Let's take out your ovaries and your uterus. Let's take out your gallbladder. Let's take out your thyroid gland. You don't need any of this stuff. For goodness sake, your body is just, you know, an evolutionary fiat. Your body is imperfect. Your body is flawed. Your body has built-in mistakes, and your only choice is to let the doctor come in with a mechanical piece. That's right. You don't need nature's knee. You need the titanium knee by whatever company. I tried to think up a medical device company off the top of my head. I couldn't do it. But right, this is what we've been convinced, and you know, then you have to get behind these women. I mean, you have to get behind them. You have to support them. For goodness sake, they've had their breasts hacked off by the MDs. What are you going to do, criticize them? You're going to say, oh, that was a stupid idea. No, you're not going to do that. That's just, you know, impolite. We don't do that in polite society. And as this goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on, it becomes the new normal. All kinds of support groups for women who've had their breasts hacked off. Now, listen. It's better to have your breast hacked off than to die from breast cancer that has spread to different parts of your body. But make no mistake, it's not a cure. It's not even close. We've been hacking breasts off for 30 years. It's nothing new. Longer than that. It's nothing new. The surgical treatments are better, but apparently not so much, as the majority of women now who have their breasts hacked off are still in pain. For goodness sake. And this is what we pay hard-earned medical insurance premium money every month to gain access to. But, you know, stupid is as stupid does, and you can't fix City Hall, right? You can't change City Hall. You can't. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, etc., etc., etc. But we have to do something. We have to do something. And so this is why I exist, apparently. If you'd have told me 20 years ago this is what I'd be doing now, I would have laughed in your face and walked away. But apparently, somebody has to stand up on the hill. Somebody has to be in the front lines. Somebody has to be on the tip of the spear. Somebody has to be forwarding the notion. Somebody has to be pulling back the curtain. And even though the AMA will tell you to pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, I'm just saying, look. Just take an objective look at what's going on. You don't need to be mean-spirited. You don't need to be judgmental. You just need to look at the facts. $600 billion of cancer research money. Has that gone to you? Have you gotten any results from that? Anybody in your family gotten any results from that? Well, you could argue that if you're still a woman and you're still alive after breast cancer surgery, that you were a beneficiary of that, but not really, because we knew how to take breasts off 50 years ago. And if you catch a breast cancer soon enough and you eliminate it, the tumors are very specific to breast tissue, and they're not going to show up anywhere else. If you get it before it spreads, that's why they hack the breasts off, because they have no idea what causes it, and they have no idea how to fix it without something radically invasive like hack the breast off. Yank the uterus, yank the ovaries, yank the testicles, yank it all, yank it. The MDs, they should have a nickname. They should be called Yankees, because that's what they do. Yank it all, boys. Let's just yank it. For goodness sakes. So, because this is such an overarching phenomenon, because the MDs monopolize the medical marketplace, because we've gotten used to this type of ridiculous treatment, it's normal now for us to expect to get the breasts hacked off and that's a really great progressive treatment. Well, no, quite frankly, it's an old-fashioned, outdated, archaic, and apparently side-effect-riddled treatment. But the MDs now, when they're seeing all this pain persist after radical mastectomies, their inclination is not to review the procedure, not to review the wisdom of the procedure in the first place, but to figure out different ways to manage the pain. Oh, just give them Vioxx. Oops. I'm sorry, you can't do that anymore because Vioxx was taken off the market because it killed 500,000 people. For goodness sakes. Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a point in time in your life when your eyes are opened. And once your eyes are opened, you're in the grasp of truth forever. Once you've experienced the truth, you're in its velvet grasp forever. The allopathic MDs, remember MDs practice allopathic medicine. They do not practice medicine. Nobody practices medicine. Medicine is a vast domain, a vast territory. There are chiropractic doctors, naturopathic doctors, homeopathic doctors, Ayurvedic doctors, traditional Chinese medical doctors, etc., 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 and MDs. MDs don't own the domain of medicine. You'd think that they would here in the United States, here in North America, here in Canada as well, quite frankly in the European Union. You'd think that they owned medicine because they're the only show in town. They're the only show in town because they legislated themselves into first place with pharmaceutical money. Period. They've legislated themselves there. They don't want there to be a free market. They don't have a problem with the homeopaths, except that the homeopaths get all the business. So that's why they outlawed homeopathy. Not because it didn't work, not because it was dangerous, not because it produced lots of crazy side effects and was unbelievably expensive. Oh yeah, that's their therapeutics, the MDs. The problem the MDs had with the homeopaths is that homeopathy worked better than their treatments. Homeopathy provoked a cure. Homeopathy induced a self-regulatory response in the human body that generated homeostasis. Homeopathy works. Allopathic pharmaceutical centrist medicine manages. Homeopathy heals. Oh, no, we can't have that. Oh, and did I mention that the average homeopathic medicine costs $10? $10 for about a month's supply. Well, is that good for the pharmaceutical companies or bad for the pharmaceutical companies? You think it through. You don't know what you don't know, and you've been manipulated, honestly, by 100 years more, quite frankly, of pharmaceutical propaganda to believe that the only valid type of medicine is pharmaceutical centrist MD-directed medicine. You don't know anything else. All that you know is, oh, that chiropractor's a quack. That naturopath, what is that? A hiking trail? I don't even know what that is. Homeopathy, what's that? The minimum dose? You got to be kidding me. It's quackery, I say, quackery. At least that's what they've taught you in school. And that's what the rank and file, intellectually cowardly scientists will tell you. By the way, I think I'm going to give up political correctness for 2014. I'm going to be polite, but I don't give a crap about political correctness anymore. Virtually 100% of the people that I was in pre-med with, I did pre-med at the University of Massachusetts way back in the day from 1984 to 1987. Virtually 100% of the people I was in the pre-med department with, there were two exceptions to this rule, were people that you wouldn't want working on you. They were lopsided, psychologically maladjusted pencil necks. There, I said it out loud. You know what I'm talking about. You know those people in high school? The really book-smart people, really book smart, could, ace an exam, just as well as blink an eyelash, but they had no social skills. They didn't really know what was going on, had no interpersonal skills whatsoever. Well, those are the people that turn into doctors. And those are the people that you've given your life over to, your body over to, and look what you have received into the bargain. Leading cause of death, leading cause of bankruptcy. MD-directed medical treatments. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen. Open your eyes, and let's walk into the undiscovered territory of holistic medical nutrition together. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Stick around. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up at the top of the second hour, the one, the only, Sandy Ellsberg, who has often been referred to correctly as the queen of network marketing, the gurus of network marketing. Sandy Ellsberg's reputation and results that she has generated all on her own in the field of network marketing is unrivaled by any other woman currently alive on the planet. If you are even remotely interested in network marketing as a legitimate business opportunity, if you are a longevity representative, I don't care whose team you're in, I don't care whose downline you're in, you're not going to want to miss Sandy Ellsberg's interview live today at the top of the second hour. Tell all of your friends, leave work early, call in sick unless it's too late. I'll give you a doctor's note. You don't want to miss Sandy Ellsberg. Coming up live today at the top of the second hour. Hey, guess who's in the house? It's Gottfried from Germany, who's got a question about something. Hey, Gottfried, welcome aboard. Happy New Year. What's going on?
Happy New Year, Doc. How are you?
I'm great, but I'll get better. Thanks for asking. How's it going in Germany, man?
Yeah, I just want to find out about the new product, the Immortalium.
Yeah. You would have to ask me about that live on the air, wouldn't you, Godfrey?
I want all the longevity family to hear about it.
Yeah, well, I'm not so sure that you do. Because one of the things that and don't get me wrong, I'm a gigantic longevity supporter, that's why I do this, because longevity's products produce more consistent, measurable results than anything I've ever seen. And I've seen quite a bit in a quarter of a century of work in holistic medicine as a naturopathic doctor. I mean, I've seen a lot. And the reason that I love longevity so much, number one, because of Dr. Wallach's research. Number two, because of Dr. Wallach's legacy. but mostly because of Dr. Wallach's products and the therapeutics that Dr. Wallach has developed based on decades of actual clinical experience and then, built upon millions of dollars of research. Longevity's nutritional support programs generated by Dr. Wallach, delivered by Longevity's nutritional support products, produce more consistent, remarkable results across the board than anything I've ever seen. Period. Game, set, match. That's why I'm on the air every day talking about this, because it works. And it works. And that's where the rubber hits the road for me. It's results. All of which, right, are based on science and clinical experience. Now, the nuts and bolts of the Immortalium product. The nuts and bolts of the Immortalium product is this stuff. It's a telomere support blend. It's this stuff called trans-resveratrol, and a couple of other things that are supposed to help lengthen the lifespan of people. But the research on primates and on humans has not been done, at least not that I'm aware of. Maybe there's research about this stuff that has been done. This stuff has been proven to work in worms. It's been proven to work in algae. It's been proven to work in a weird species of Japanese fish. And it's been proven to work in rats, although the rat experiment was unable to be duplicated. There was only one lab that was able to do it one time. It's never been duplicated with rats. So the claim that this product will help to extend the lifespan of telomeres in your genetic material is unfounded. Maybe it will, and if it does, it's awesome. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the jury's still out. Now, it's got a lot of other stuff in it that's good. It has a lot of methyl sulfonylmethane MSM. It's got 300 milligrams of that. It's got 300 milligrams of alpha lipoic acid. It has superoxide dismutase, 35 international units of that. It's got fucoidin in it. It's got some really good stuff in it, but all of that stuff is available in other Longevity products. Now, you can argue that they're not all together all at once in one product. I really like the bottle that this stuff comes in. It comes in a very cool bottle that's made out of a special glass that's been proven over and over again to extend the lifespan of whatever you put in the glass. It's really cool stuff. It's really cool stuff, the glass. And I like half of the stuff that's in the product. The other half of the stuff that's in the product hasn't been proven to work on humans. It just hasn't. Now, maybe it's a great idea. Maybe Longevity's really onto something here, and maybe there's research that's been done on primates or humans that I'm not aware of. But until I see that, until I get more clinical experience with it, until I actually see it work like I see all the healthy packs work, I'm not going to get behind it 100%. Let's say 50%. Great question, Godfrey. Thanks for the call. Stick around, folks. Going to Idaho next. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. January 3rd, 2014. Coming up in the second hour, Sandy Ellsberg, the queen of MLMs. Don't miss my interview with Sandy. She's going to give you insight, stuff in the zone of you didn't know it. All about how to make your longevity business the bee's knees. Now, look, does Dr. Glidden know everything about everything? No. Dr. Glidden knows most everything about most everything. It's entirely possible that there's research on primates and on humans. There's been human trials done on the stuff in Immortalium that I'm unaware of. That's entirely possible. And there is other stuff in there that, is great. The fucoidin's great. The MSM's great. The alpha-lipoic acid is great. Good stuff. Superoxide dismutase is great. I don't have a problem with that. But I'm not going to get up on a stage and say that it supports anti-aging because the jury's out as to whether it does that or not. I can get up on a stage and say that it's a great antioxidant and it supports and promotes the body's ability to eliminate and neutralize free radicals, and that's an awesome thing. The longest-lived cultures in the world consumed massive amounts by accident of antioxidants. So getting more antioxidants is a really good scheme to increase your lifespan. It's not a bad idea at all. As a matter of fact, it's mandatory. But to say that this product or any other product that's available right now increases the lifespan of telomeres? Well, show me the evidence, and I'm all in. Let's go to Idaho and see what Chris is up to. Hey, Chris, thanks for the phone call. You are live. Come in, Chris.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, Chris. What's going on, man?
Got a question about regulating my blood sugars. I got kind of an enlarged gut and weight metabolism.
You have an enlarged what?
Gut. My stomach is bloated.
Okay. Have you taken any longevity stuff yet?
Just started.
All right, great. Now, all right, good. Was the gut bloating present before or after the longevity stuff?
Before.
Okay, good. So what we recommend and what we bring to the table are baseline foundation medical nutrition support strategies for the masses, right? So if you're dealing with a blood sugar issue, the recommendation is 1 healthy blood sugar pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. And, I always round it up. So if you're 180 pounds, I'll give you the 200-pound dose. Now, if you need 2 healthy blood sugar packs a month, but you can only afford 1 healthy blood sugar pack a month, then get 1 healthy blood sugar pack a month. It's still going to work. It's just going to take a little bit longer. And the results might not be as consistent. It might be more like a roller coaster, but it's going to work. Because what it does is it provides the nutrients that your body needs to optimize the metabolism of blood sugar. And that's a really great thing. But, also from our perspective as holistic, we look at the body through a holistic lens, which is fancy schmancy talk for, everything's connected. So, the gut is connected to blood sugar, is connected to brain chemistry, is connected to hormones, is connected to muscles and joints and connective tissue, and everything's connected, man. So, especially the digestive tract, the stomach, the small intestine, the large intestine, the gallbladder, especially the digestive tract is really pretty important here in terms of medical nutrition, because when the digestive tract is funky, right, for whatever reason, it's hard for you to absorb the nutrients that you just spent a couple of $100 and swallowed. So we need to optimize the health of the digestive tract into the bargain here. Now, there's a saying in medicine that when you hear hoofbeats, you think about horses before you think about zebras, which means when you see symptoms showing up in people, you think about the most common things that cause those before you start thinking about arcane stuff, like a tumor or whatever. So so the single biggest cause of bloating in the abdomen, in the stomach, is consistent consumption of whole grains, wheat, barley, rye, and oats, right? So our recommendation is twofold, Chris. Number one, you got to take the right supplements, right? You got to take the healthy blood sugar pack in your case. Number two, you have to stop eating food that's tearing up your digestive tract. And if you don't do both, the program's going to take forever to click in, because it's going to be 3 steps forward with the nutrients and 2 steps backwards with the diet, and you're just going to get somewhere, but you're going to get there really slowly. And a good metaphor for this is you wouldn't put diesel fuel in an unleaded engine, right? I mean, if the car even runs, if you did that, it's going to run like crap. And there's nothing wrong with the engine. You just put the wrong fuel in the tank because you didn't know any better. So there are 10 foods that we recommend you and me and everybody in the world stop eating, generically, 10 foods. Now, most people who eliminate these 10 foods, within 4 weeks, most of their digestive difficulties go away. Sometimes it's all the digestive difficulties. Sometimes it's 25% or 50%. But I can guarantee you, when you eliminate these 10 foods from your diet, your digestive tract is going to settle down, calm down, and you're going to have a much more pleasant experience. And then, once your system's nutrified, consistently, and you give your gut and your blood sugar and everything else the stuff it needs to fix itself, well, guess what? Your body is going to fix itself to the ability that it can. Now, to get the list of the 10 bad foods, It's free. Just go to my website, Fire Your MD Now. Make sure to put the now at the end, fireyourmdnow.com. Sign up for my newsletter. It's free. And as soon as you sign up for the newsletter, you get directed to a page that has a document on it called Good Food, Bad Food. And I don't really care about the good food list, but I do care about the bad food list. I want you to please stop eating all 10 foods on the bad food list. Now, there's only one more thing to do here, man, and that is to start salting your food so that it tastes good. And I don't care what kind of salt you use. I don't care if it's iodized table salt. I don't care if it's Celtic sea salt. I don't care what it is. Just salt your food so that it tastes good. Follow your body's lead with salt because your body needs salt to have healthy digestive acid. So, do the healthy blood sugar pack for 3 months, eliminate the 10 bad foods for 3 months, and then see what happens. And then, after 90 days on this program, if there's still trouble in stomach land or, the blood sugars haven't 100% capitulated, then we can fine-tune it down the line. But you got to start somewhere. And when we do the 1, 2, we do the 1.
Does it go without saying that blood sugar / diabetes, or do I need to mention that I've been, diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic because of the elevated blood sugar?
Yeah, no, it's helpful so that must mean you're measuring your blood sugars every day, right?
Yes.
Yeah, great. So this is awesome. And it's much easier to help people that are in your situation because you have an objective measurement every day. So you already know what your baseline sugars are, right? So once you start this program, it's either going to work or it's not, and you're going to be able to track it objectively with your numbers. Right. So I can't tell you how many hundred, it might even be in the thousands of people now that I've met who used to have type 2 diabetes and they don't have it anymore because from our point of view, type 2 diabetes is simple nutrient deficiency diseases. Your body has run out of the stuff it needs to metabolize blood sugar. It's not genetic. It's not a voodoo curse. It's not because you're overweight. It's not because you're Caucasian. It's not because you're of Jewish descent. It's not because you're of Germanic descent. It's not because you're of African American descent. It's got nothing to do with it. It's kind of like, scurvy, right? Back in the pirate days, scurvy. It's a vitamin C deficiency. That's all it is. You take vitamin C, it goes away. Or rickets. It's a vitamin D like David deficiency. You take vitamin D, it goes away. Well, from our point of view, type 2 diabetes is multiple mineral deficiency disease. And when you fulfill that need in your body, the blood sugars normalize. Now, I've seen it take 2 weeks. I've seen it take 9 months for somebody's blood sugars to normalize. But because it's a holistic program, this isn't just focused and targeted on your blood sugar, right? Because we're giving these nutrients. It's a comprehensive nutritional program. So as you're going down the track here and you're measuring your blood sugars and you're waiting for your blood sugars to normalize and get better, improve, also pay attention to what happens to your mood and your energy and your appetite and your sex drive and your sleep and your bowel movements and everything else, man, because it's all connected. And once you get a little bit of improvement somewhere, right, it's only a matter of time until the rest of it rolls around. And you got it. And this is the biggest difference between an approach like this and conventional medicine, because with conventional medicine, you take the pill and 15 minutes later you feel better, but it doesn't fix it. It just manages the problem, right? It's like sweeping the dirt under the rug. A medical nutrition program takes time. Healing takes time. It's a process, not an event. It takes time. But with time, if we're doing the right stuff, if we're on target and we're dialing it in, then you should experience positive symptomatic improvement every 2-3 weeks. And that's the beauty of this approach, because the proof of the pudding's in the eating, and nothing argues better than results, right? But you gotta stop eating those 10 bad foods, man, or this is going to be a very frustrating process for you. Okay?
Now, as far as taking of the metformin, the glyburide, or glipizide, or any of that, what's your thoughts there?
Well, just keep doing it. So you maintain the discipline with your meds.
Drop, yeah.
Yeah, and you've been taught, or you should have been taught. I mean, I don't know how good your medical professionals are, but when I put people on those drugs, I teach them to modify the dose based on the blood sugar numbers, right? So,
right.
So as your numbers come down, you're going to withdraw from the meds.
Right.
And,
gotcha.
and it's as simple as that. Now, there is going to come a point in time, I don't know, maybe 3 months from now, 4 months from now, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks from now, when you're just going to have to take a leap because your blood sugars are going to be so low consistently that you're just going to have to stop the meds and see what happens. Now, when you do that, when you're completely medication-free, expect the blood sugars to bounce for about 7 days because your body gets used to the presence of the drug, right? And even if it doesn't need the drug, if it's still there, and then you withdraw the drug, the body doesn't know what to do for a little while. So when you finally get to the point where you're ready to stop the meds altogether, expect a bounce in the blood sugars for about 7 days, but just ride it through. And I'm telling you, man, you're going to love how you feel. Pay attention to your subjective symptoms, your mood, your energy, your appetite, and everything else in addition to the objective blood sugar numbers. I'm pretty excited for you, Chris. And by the way, feel free to call us back every 2-3 weeks with a report. Good, bad, or ugly. I want to know what's happening here. We don't screen calls. It's just the honest truth here. Call us back. Let us know how it's going, and I appreciate your trust. Now go out there, brother, and get your health back. You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. You've done it again. You've listening live January 3rd, 2014. Stick around. Sandy Ellsberg coming up at 6 after the hour. Call your friends. Call everybody in network marketing. Get them to tune in and turn on, because we are going to rock the Casbah here with Sandy Ellsberg, telling you everything you didn't even think you needed to know about network marketing. Let's finish it out right now with Nita in Connecticut. Hey, Nita, thanks for calling. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Fish. How are you today?
I'm great, but I'll get better. Thanks for calling. How can I help?
I am on the health pack regimen. I've been on it since November 26th. Now it's like I'm hurting all over, and I'm taking everything, I'm doing everything right.
Anita, I'm sorry, I'm having an almost impossible time hearing you. Are you on a speakerphone or something? Is there anything you can do to adjust your phone?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now there we go. All right, let's start all over. That's excellent.
Okay, I'm on the healthy pack. I take 4 million capsules 3 times a day. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, I take 3 Ultimate EFS every day. I take 2 scoops of tangerine. I take 18 capsules of glucose gel. I take Beyond OsteoFX. I take the plant-based minerals. And I'm still hurting in my hips and in my legs. I don't know what's going on.
Well, have you eliminated the 10 bad foods?
Yes, I have.
Okay, good. How much of the white liquid calcium are you taking?
What's white liquid calcium? I'm not taking any calcium.
Well, you're taking a white powder. Are you taking the Beyond OsteoFX? Yes,
I am. They're coming in a liquid form. I'm taking 2 tablespoons twice a day.
Okay. How much do you weigh?
170.
Okay. Now, has anything improved since you've been doing this? Mood, energy, appetite? I mean, anything gotten better?
My hand. I can use my right hand, my left hand now. Yeah, that's gotten better, much better, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So some joints are getting better, but some joints are not, right?
I know. It's like in my hips and my legs. I can't hardly. I'm tired of walking bend over.
Yeah, okay. So you just have to give the program more time. I mean, that's all that you have to do because the game is afoot. And this is the problem with holistic medicine because it takes a lot longer to build a house than it does to blow up a house, right? It takes a long time for your body to fix a problem that you've had for forever. I'll give you some insider scoop here, Nita. The old-time naturopathic physicians always said, as kind of a ballpark guesstimate, it takes the body approximately 1 month for every year that you've had the problem to get on the other side of the problem with a program that's effective. So how many years has your hip been affecting you?
Many, many years.
Well, how many?
I tried.
How many?
I'm 65.
Well, how many years have you had a hip problem? 5, 10, 15, 20? How many years?
Ever since 2008.
2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I would expect 5 months. How long have you been on this program?
It's November 26th.
Yeah, so you got to give it more time. Just give it more time. Now, one thing that you can do to accelerate it is to double the amount of that liquid, the white liquid stuff you're taking, the Beyond Osteo FX. So take...
Really?
Yeah. So take... you're taking what? 2 tablespoons twice a day? I'm
taking 2 tablespoons twice a day.
So take 2 tablespoons 4 times a day.
All right, that's good.
You're doing everything else perfect. Just if you want to accelerate things, take 2 tablespoons 4 times a day. Or, an easier way to measure it is 1 ounce 4 times a day. What I like to do is take 1 ounce with breakfast, 1 ounce with lunch, or it's better actually if you do 1 ounce before breakfast, between breakfast and lunch, 1 ounce between lunch and dinner, and 2 ounces immediately before bed. Do that for 14 days. 1 ounce between breakfast and lunch, 1 ounce between lunch and dinner, and 2 ounces immediately before bed. Do that for 14 days and see if you notice an improvement in the hip, or quite frankly, anywhere else. The game is afoot here, Nita. You just need to give the body more time. And you can try to push it a little bit by increasing the intake of Beyond Osteo FX. Give it a try. Let me know what happens, and keep up the good work. Ladies and gentlemen, Sandy Ellsberg, the one and the only. Coming up, 6 after the hour. Call everybody you know. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Thanks so much for tuning in.